Okay, hello. So, this is extremely cool. Jess, I can't believe you are here. That is amazing. Yes, she is here. That is the reality. So, the plan is, so this is the plan. The plan is I'm going to build something and I've deliberately not thought about it. So this is basically speedrun build, which means I am going to try and sort of say what I'm doing so I don't have to repeat it. Hey, Halladin, and Aussie Boy, and Van Ling, of course. So nice to see you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build... Now, first of all, tell me if this exists, because that would be... I'll still build it, but I would like to know, and I'll feel like less of a fool if I know. So, whoa, that's amazing. Thank you very much. So, I feel like less of a fool. I want to know, does this thing exist? I want to build an app that basically just shows you your first commit on GitHub. That's the idea. This is not complicated. It's not a difficult thing. But I thought it could be a fun little thing to very quickly build and stream. So now would be the time to tell me if you know that this thing already exists. That would be very good for me to know. So I'm going to get started. Without further ado, we are going to run nuxi init, and we are going to call this thing first commit is. And because that's the domain name that I managed to register. Right, okay, into first commit we go. Oh, we'll just open it here. Boom. And yes, I trust myself. Hey, welcome people. Nice to see you. The aim is we're going to build an app from scratch, and it's going to be just an app to display your first commit on GitHub, and hopefully we can make it look a little bit nice as well. So we've got a new Nuxt repo. I've just started it, cloned it from scratch. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to initialize a get repo. I am going to, for goodness sake, rename the branch. I think I can just check out main. I'm going to clean it up a little bit so I don't have some stuff there. Oh, I'm going to install my dependencies, but I'm specifically going to install the Edge version of Nuxt. Because I'm like that. There we go. And hey, it's Alex. I see. I am Alex. You don't know if what maintainers like it, Jess. Causing trouble immediately. It's crazy. Okay, so we've got a new from Japan. Incredible. It's late, isn't it? Very late, I feel. Brazil, invite me and I will come. That's basically how it works. Okay, so we have a new Nuxt 3 project, and yes, I can telemetry. Oh yeah, the maintainers love it. We actually genuinely do love it because it helps us flag up potential issues long before they make it into an actual release. Okay, so we've got a dev server. Let's see if I can open that. Localhost 3000, and this is presumably going to be beautiful. Oh, I need to do one more thing. Port 24678 because I'm doing this remotely, which means I need to connect Vite. Oh, do I have any spare ports? Nope. I think we're all fine. Okay. Hopefully this is all the chores out of the way. What's going on here? Hey, we are building an app. If I can even get my port forwarding working. Why is this not working? Come on. Localhost 3000. Is that? Yeah, Jess is here to provide answers. Why is this not working? Come on, VS Code. I'm just sort of assuming it's VS Code. What happens if I hit it in here? Oh, cool. I have to... No, that's fine. And it's working fine within the box. It's just the tunneling that's not working. Hey, Fayaz. Nice to see you. Okay. Ace and Hal. This is great. I'm going to reload this window. Hopefully that's going to do something. Is this the tunnel that's not being set up? Okay. First commit. Well, like we have got options here. Like the app could have multiple endpoints. Is this? Why is this not actually working? Okay, kill that. Let's just check. We don't have any ports sitting around on port. We do. That's probably this very VS Code window. Okay, so this should return. Something's weird in my laptop because I've not got anything running there. I think I've got to kill this on the assumption that, okay. So maybe there was some zombie process. There must have been a zombie process or whatever sitting around. Is that working? No. This is terrible. Why would this happen? I have said it's speed important. And now what's happening? What is happening? VS Code is bothering me. Still not working. How is this possible? Okay. I'm going to close VS Code. Is there another VS Code somewhere around? There is. Okay, I'm going to start it from scratch. Come on, VS Code. And reconnect. And that's fine. Oh, failing this, I guess I could try a different port if there's something shadowing it somehow. But this feels better. Hey, Muesli. This is madness. How is anybody meant to do any work if they can't get a port open? Let me just assume, I'm just assuming that it's not some kind of edge bug with Nuxt. Well, it's not, because I can hit it here, right? Or I maybe could try, I wonder if I could try the Cloudflare tunnel. I'll try the Cloudflare tunnel. Let's see, I should be able to do this, I think. I might need to hack in somehow. It's not currently exposed, I don't think. Actually, I think this might work. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so the QR code should give me access to a tunnel. No, that's just giving me the localhost link. What is it? So basically, Listen ships with a new sort of immediately available tunnel option, which lets you, let's see, what's that? It's -- tunnel. Let's see if I can detect it this way. No, I'll have to hack in. Don't do this. Nuxi, bin, no. Node modules, Nuxi, dist, chunks, dev, I think. Well, the weird thing is that this is a VS Code issue. So just to be clear, this is not a bug with Nuxt. So when I run the dev server, I can. This is because I'm hosting this on a remote host. I can just curl it and it's totally fine. So it comes through. There's my thing. But for some reason, the port that VS Code normally sets up, which works fine, isn't working. And so I'm wondering if now would actually be a good time to handle the listener here. So what I want to do is, I think tunnel, is that going to be good enough if I just pass tunnel here? I'm sort of thinking that should be okay. Hey, need more wood. Good to see you. Let's try this. Haha! So look, Cloudflare tunnel being set up. Maybe I don't have the newest version. What's the matter here? Oh, it has to be installed? Okay. Now, we've got a tunnel. Is this going to work? Oh, for goodness sake. Probably the SSH, probably the servers not giving permission. Honestly, this is unbelievable. Okay. This should work locally. Well, I think, well, we can try that. But I think maybe it's a firewall issue or something like that with my, but VS Code tunnel should work fine. Okay, get rid of the tunnel thing. ngrok. Is that right, or is it space separated? Localhost space 3000. Does anyone remember? HTTP 3000. Can I specify more than one? 80, 24, 678. Oh, that's a pain. This is terrible. What I want to do is expose the Vite server as well. Jess, I'm blaming you for sure. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Remote ports. You auto forward them and oh, this is a good point. I should definitely add consider yourself thrown. Okay. Let's just set some default forwarded ports 3024, 678, because that will save my life. Save me a little bit. Let's try a different port, just in case. I'll do 4000, and let's just try. Is that going to work for me? Because if it doesn't, I'm done with this. I'm going to do something else. Like, do this locally. Nope, that's also not working. Does it work if I pass the host? Do I have to edit something else? I'm just going to try, just in case. I don't think it can possibly be Nuxt, but still. No, it is, for whatever reason, some weirdness between my computer and this thing. So I think, what am I going to do? I think I basically have to do this locally. So close that. Let's create a new project. We're going to stick it in code, npx nuxi init. What did I call it? First commit is. There we go. Let's try this. This might, oh, that's lovely. So what is going on here is that I started, I'm doing something, and for whatever reason, it's not working. So basically my remote computer that I'm running VS Code on is not forwarding ports properly to my computer. And I can only assume that it is it's not a Nuxt issue, it's not, but it is some kind of port forwarding issue. So we're just going to do it on my computer. So let's install the latest version of Nuxt. That will do. And while this is going to slow me down. My video is not going to really properly cope with that. So I do apologize in advance when that happens. But basically, we should be able to get going. Hundreds of dollars, Jess. Hundreds of dollars, you say. Probably thousands. 10,000 at least. So basically, what we want to do, and this is probably the first thing, we need to actually be able to grab the the first commit that a user made on GitHub. So I'm just going to say create an API route, which is just going to be first commit. We'll just say commit. I guess the first commit.is. Actually, we could just have it be the username. So we could do something like API username.get.ts, something like that. And that's going to handle just like being, look how slow it is. Now that's just going to handle, and my PNPM is still running. This is very, very slow. So this is going to be an API route, and all it needs to do is return the first commit, and we can do some other interesting, Tina, thank you. We can do some other interesting things when we, once we have it. So we are going to want to basically, I don't know, say commit is some kind of hash, right? That's probably what it's going to end up looking like. We'll run the dev server, and it's going to be localhost 3000. And there we go. No? Oh, it's so slow. Like, this is why I do it on a remote machine. It is not, this is purely the stream. Okay, come in. This is not going to be interesting. This is just going to be some HTML for our homepage, which is that. Okay, so we want to try this API. So we're going to hit API and then a username, which will be Daniel Rowe, and that shall just return hello world. In fact, we could even say something like const username is get router param event username, and then we can actually return that as well. Yeah, India land on the moon. Honestly, is that not incredible stuff? Like, we're like, that just happens. Yeah, people just land on the moon these days. Amazing. Okay, so basically we're pulling our router param out of our in our event handler, which is good. That means we can now do something like make a request to GitHub. Now I suspect I'm going to need some kind of API key for this, but let's first, like, I've done no preparation for this. So let's see, GitHub. Should we do REST API or GraphQL? Any votes? REST API or GraphQL? Anything in UNGH? I doubt it, but I'll have a look. Okay, what does it expose for us? Because basically what I want to know is the first commit. So we have repos, and I don't think there would have been any reason for Puya to implement this. Users find. So no, we don't have anything in UNGH. But if you want to check it out, this is a very cool repo. And it would be definitely worth having a look. Okay, so REST API is what all people have said. So we won't do GraphQL. If only anyone had just said GraphQL, I would have done that for you, because that's an interesting challenge. GitHub. And basically what I want to do is find users, some information about users. I want to find their first commit and display it. So social accounts, users, contextual information, events. That sounds promising. What is that? Let's just try this. Okay, I think we're in business. Okay, we probably want these events. And okay, that seems good. Right, so we basically, I bet it will be a paginated list. So we're going to say the events is going to be, fair enough, events, username. Copilot says we should make it a function, and I'd have no reason not to. So we can do this. And we're just going to hit the GitHub API. And we're going to throw an error if there's no username. And we're just going to do it like a create error, which is what we use in H3. So now we don't need to make that assertion. Okay. So basically, we're going to grab the events, and we are going to need to make a fetch call. So const events is going to be an array, and what we're going to do is get some data. And what did I say? It's going to be, what is that? Yeah, that's the right thing. So we could, in this kind of situation, it's probably overkill for this project, say like we could have a GitHub API and we could just do fetch create base URL is going to be like the API there. But I mean, I don't know really what the point is. We could say await GitHub, and then we're going to put in our API thing. In this case, it's going to be the username. And let's just see what kind of stuff comes back, although we actually have it here. And one thing I often do is use PB copy if you're on Mac OS. It just copies whatever it is to the clipboard. And then it's a very easy way of running a command and then immediately having access to it in the editor, which is quite fun. So then I'll just mark this as JSON and format the document. Hopefully that will do something. Okay, it looks a lot nicer. Okay, so we've got some events. Repo. Oh, hello. Yes, I did push there. Okay. And I'm guessing this must be paginated. Okay, let's find out some information. Events. Events. Okay. We must be able to pass, yeah, per page default by 30, but we're going to grab everything as much as possible because we want to get all of them. Unless I can specify a sorting order? No. See, this would be better with GraphQL, wouldn't it? Okay, so what I'll do is basically say we want to pass some query parameters. So we're going to grab them in here, and we basically have two options. We have per page, and we want 100, and we have a page option, which is going to be 1. But we'll just say let page equals 1 because we'll iterate. And then we'll basically do a do while, I guess, data length or something like that. Data length is greater or equal to 100. So what we would do then is say, let data, and that, I guess. And then this is probably a terrible way of doing it. And we would increment the page like that. And we'll need to type this in a second, but we can try returning the events. And this is going to be awful because it's going to fetch all of the events. So this is probably going to be a very lot of. Does anyone have a GitHub username I can use? Maybe a new GitHub account. Actually, I think I have do I have a Nuxt bot? They probably won't have any. They won't have any events, but let's just check. Yeah, it's no events. What's somebody who's new to GitHub? Okay, McPizza. McPizza. That's not going to take me. What's your GitHub account? GitHub McPizza. Is it this? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, you've got some events. We'll see how many they are, but we'll basically hit this, hit our local thing. Try McPizza 0, and let's see what we get back. API rate limit exceeded. I thought we would need to authenticate. Okay, so that probably means that it is actually hitting more than once. If I were to hit that again, no, it's now we're fully hitting it. So what we're going to want to do is to create a .env example file. I always start with that. And we're going to want to have a Nuxt GitHub token. And that is going to be, we're going to then consume that in our Nuxt config, in our runtime config. And I'll have a GitHub and a token. And that basically is going to be pulled in via this Nuxt GitHub token variable. And yeah, don't pay any attention to that. Like, honestly, it's not how many commits you have, it's what impact you have, right? And you can have a big impact without any commits. Okay, so, and you can have an impact on people without impacting code. So we have that Nuxt GitHub token, and that's basically what's going to do it for us. So I'm just going to create a little env file, and that's that. And what I'm going to do is just in where nobody can actually see me, I'm just going to copy a GitHub token and paste it in that env file. Oh, hello. Ignore it. That was a stupid idea. It appeared magically. No one rewind. You'll probably have full access to my account now. Actually, I should definitely revoke that token. Settings, security, help. I've just doxed myself. What do I do? Is what you say in these sort of emergency moments. Personal access token. Good news is this is actually a very boring one. Which one is it? I so much wish there were an easier way to see which token was which. Like if they just gave you like the 3 last characters or something like that. That would be quite a useful thing to be able to do. Let's see. But I think I should be able to tell. This is terrifying. I think I should be able to tell by when it was last used. Anyone else have a better way? Exactly. That's what I've done. And I'm just checking. But the problem is it tends to say something like last used within the last week rather than within the last minute. And that is not fantastic. Yeah, I think it's this one. But you can obviously confirm it because then as soon as, yep, I've revoked it. Okay, it's all revoked. It's revoked. Everyone, you can totally breathe easy now. But now I've got to get a new one. Okay, so we're going to generate a new token. Thankfully, it was fine-grained. And we're going to call this one, what's this one? First commit. Sorry, you can't see this. And we are going to simply grab it. It's a public token, just public read access. And we're going to paste that in. Oh, but the one thing I'm going to do before we do that is I actually have .env set up, but it must be disabled. Okay, this actually will just hide my data. So this is the one I've just revoked. So it should now allow me to toggle auto-cloaking, which means I can, when I save that, it should now automatically sanitize it. That's what we want. So, okay. Still, I'm not sure I can 100% count on that. Have I just done it again? What? You've got to laugh, right? That's the main thing. You've got to be able to laugh at these things. Okay. Try this one more time. Yes. Haha. Okay. Right. So, hopefully we are there. So what this means is we should have access to the GitHub token here. And what we should be able to do is say, let's see. Is going to be use runtime config. GitHub.token, except, yeah, that's fine. We're going to wrap the whole thing in a define lazy event handler, which will let us do some setup before we actually return the event handler. So we can do things like access runtime config and set everything up for us. So what we're going to do is this. We want to grab the runtime config like this, use runtime config. And we are going to then access it just directly here. And what is it saying? It's a string. Oh, we pass it in obviously through the headers, and we're going to want a bearer authorization, and it's going to be bearer config GitHub token. And then we will return our event handler like this. And that should be right sort of thing. So then we can drop out this get events into there. Okay. And so what I now want to be able to do is hit McPizza and get some data without, we just want to know how many events there are. So we're going to hit McPizza's thing. And bad credentials. Yeah, let's spend some time debugging this, shall we? What is this? Yeah, I don't think this is what I want. I think that search events is going to be, Tom, will you ever speak to me again? That is the real question. I want to know the answer right now. Will you speak to me again if I used nano in my history? Or is it the end? The end. So I've got a, what is the, it says unauthorized. Oh, I think I probably have to add some more, what's my stuff? Okay, so what we need to do, how do we authorize? Authenticating. Yeah, I also have to do this. And I think I might also have to do that. So let's pass a couple more headers. We're going to want to pass this one. And we're going to want to pass this one too, I think. It's been a while since I've done anything with GitHub. And this has to be a string, obviously. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, okay, so you see the pages going up and up. 18 pages, 20? Are we properly paginating this? No, we're not. We actually do have to pass the page and not just hit the first page over and over again. No wonder I got rate limited. Let's try this again. Let's see how many pages we have to go back. Oh, the other thing is that we should be able to do this only once, right? This should be able to be cached. In fact, we would want to persist this information because your first commit's never going to change. There we go. We got 3 pages and we have 194 events for McPizza. Good. So we probably actually do want to just quickly type those. So I'm going to hit it once more and we are going to copy them. And very quickly, oops, for goodness sake, I'm going to return the events so I have got them. Okay, so we have some events, and we have got, these are only also the public events that you choose to allow. So these are, which is interesting, we can actually just browse them. Some stuff on Nuxt Capo. This is good. So different kinds of events. We have an actor. Really what we're interested in is commits. So I'm guessing we'll call something like commit event. No. Watch event. Fork. Watch. Issue comment. Pull request. push. I think we probably want push. Or do we care more about, do we care more about, so this is a question. I'm just going to hit GitHub and grab my commit. That's just one page of them. It's probably going to also be rate limited. Okay. We just wanted to display the first commit you ever made on GitHub. I think push event is probably what we care about. Push event or pull request event. I think either of those really counts. Do you think for first commit? Okay, so we're going to filter this by events. Oh, so we're going to say that this this event has a type. So I'm going to try using Valabot. I've not used this before. Anyone used Valabot? Yes, this is the project Leak My Tokens. I apologize to all security personnel, but I have revoked the tokens I have leaked. I've leaked a lot of tokens, but I've immediately revoked them. So hopefully it's not actually caused any, and none of them had permissions you need to worry about. But okay, so Valabot is installed, and basically we can do something like import star as v from Valabot. Not actually used Valabot, so I'm just going to sort of assume I can do that. V dot schema, no, v dot object, yeah, okay. So const event equals v dot object, and we're going to say it's going to be type is going to be v dot string, and we are going to we have an actor we know about. We're interested in the repo, I guess. Oh, hello, this is nice. Okay, yeah, we've got a name and a URL. We're also interested in the payload, yes. That's interesting. Seems to be actually correct. Beautiful. Gotta love it when Copilot actually knows something about what it's doing. So yeah, we do have a message, and I guess that's what we care about. Hey, nice to see you. Okay, and we have a URL, which is good, and a SHA. Okay, so what I wonder is if we can actually do this. So events.map event. Oh, normalized event. Can I pass it? Oh, for goodness sake, there are too many things called event. Okay, so what I want to say is GitHub event, and we'll refactor this later, which is what I always say. We're going to pass I guess the event, and we're going to return them like that. Oh, I think I probably want to pass them here. We're going to say transform. Oh. Data should be type of GitHub event dot object. Hey Daniel, it's good to see you. Trip was good. Really, really nice to see Puya and Alex, and Anthony was there as well. And there were people I didn't get to hang out with as well, despite wanting to. So it was very nice. Okay, so we have got some data. We do need to parse it, as I was saying. Let's do this. That'll do for now. Okay. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah, I want to filter them. interesting. Okay, so we're going to do e dot, what is it? Type is, what did we decide? We care about push events. I think in most cases a push event is going to be when your pull request actually lands. This is called Pale Knight Operator, and you can see it here, as in a link to it. Okay, so those should be just the push events. Let's see, is that actually going to do anything for us? Oh. Oh, come on. There we go. Great, so we've got some push events. There we go. Lots of pushes. In fact, this push event seems to have a lot of commits associated with it. Cool. That would be amazing, Tom. Okay, so basically we've got our push events, and we're interested in the oldest one of them. So we are. Oh yeah, thanks. So what we want is some kind of date. Created at, excellent. So yeah, that'll do. What do we have access to? Created at is directly on the event. So we can add that here. It's a string. And we want to sort by that. So const oldest commit is events. Sort what is it? New date a dot created at why is it giving me that? Okay, this is probably terrible, but let's just see what that does for us. HTTP is HTTP. It is amazing. So check it out. It's HTTP, and it is this, although it's now become a software as a service app, which I haven't tried, but the CLI is incredible, and it is very, very, very nice. Okay, so we're getting an oldest commit. This seems believable that it might be the oldest on that particular. Could it be the oldest? Let's just have a quick check. What is your old? Well, it can't be because you have down to 2016. Oh, there are contributions, but there are issues. Okay, cool. So is it possible that your first pull request? Surely not. Maybe. Is that possible? Omar, are you there? Is that your first pull request? Public pull request, yeah. You can expose private pull requests. There are older pull requests. Okay, let's just get all of them again and have a very quick copy. And it would save us something if you were able to tell us what your oldest pull request was. So what we're interested in, okay, this created at is, oh, I guess these are probably not sorted. Oh, this is parsing them. So there are some here that are not being included because they don't fit. So let's just drop that for the moment so we don't miss any events. And yes, it's like curl, but a lot easier, better DX. Okay, so basically what we're looking for, our oldest commit. This hello world, you're 100% sure that's not your oldest commit. Okay, created at, that was 05. There are 360 of these. I think this feels like this is the oldest one here, like at this part of the repo. Oh, that's nice. I did not know that. Like it's the oldest that it's giving us. Hey, nice. Damien, I didn't realize it was you. The DJmian, I guess, yeah, that does work. Yeah, it does work. Anyway, nice to see you. Exactly. Everybody's Twitch usernames are maybe slightly different from their GitHub ones. Just throws me for a loop. .next.rc, by the way, Adam, is I prefer next config for anything where I'm like, it feels like it's living in code. .next.rc, I think, is useful where you want to be able to set something without changing code, which is typically if you're cloning some other project or wanting to influence it sort of from outside, rather than, I wouldn't set my settings there. I would set them in the next config file. Right. So actually, I think this is probably fine. Output here is going to be a single thing. Okay. And we can pull the oldest commit in there. Oh, and we could say push event or e.type equals, what was the other kind of event we thought we were interested in? A pull request event. It's probably not going to appear there. Pull request event. Okay. Interesting. Oh, the hello world. I thought it was the name of your commit, but of course it's just this bit here. So what we're interested in is that, and there we go. So let's say that's going to do something. And we're going to now use not define event handler, but define cached event handler. And it's interesting. Cool. Well, this public PR seems to be 2022. Well, that might mean somehow that we have a wrong implementation here. Okay, if hitting you again, so make pizza, and this is right? Okay, so if we got page is 2, and per page is 100, it's going to return still seems to be returning the same. Thank you. And go. Go well. Okay, I've got 2023. So you're saying 2020, there must be a 2022. So we've got, nothing is, okay, so maybe it's page 2 or 3. Okay, nothing on page 3. So GitHub is just not returning your oldest custom PR, I think. Like it feels like I believe you, but there is no event that's coming back from this, which might mean we have a problem in that maybe it's the, maybe there's an issue with this endpoint and it's not working. Custom quick open, like, what do you mean? Well, in a moment we can try this out. Okay, so we've got our oldest commit. This is strange. I think this is probably because we haven't updated yet to the latest version of Nitro. So I think there must probably be multiple versions of H3 installed. Oh, yeah, it must just be the font. Okay, so well, yeah, okay. So we're saying there's several in 2022, but here's the thing: they're not showing up in. Okay, now they are. Created a commit. Why do I keep on vanishing? November. So this commit definitely should appear. So weirdness. Okay, so if I ever show pics of my setup, like what I'm looking at, I have not, but I would be able to do that. Okay, so why? It's possible my sorting is working wrongly. Let's log the data. Yeah, I'll push this up. Well, let's ignore it for the moment. We now have defined this as a cached event handler. So yeah, we will need to come back to this, but I'm thinking I should go ahead and actually build some UI, or otherwise we'll get stuck. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, good idea. Let's just have a look at. We'll do this like this. Okay. So we'll get all of your events. So this is one lot. And then we'll get page 2. And we'll get page 3, which I think is nothing. Okay. And then we need to find the commit hash, which is this one. And let's search for it, and it's not showing up. In fact, should we find Coolify? Coolify is not showing up. So why would that be? But for whatever reason, GitHub is not giving us the event, which, anyway, that's interesting. So if we can refactor this if there's another way of getting this data. For example, the GraphQL Explorer, which I did raise as potentially an option. I feel like we ought to be able to do something similar. Like we ought to be able to do, it says autocomplete, which is the great thing about it. What is it? User? Come on. Download your schema, please. Yeah. Okay, user, and we look them up by login, and we'll say make pizza. Oh. Right. And then we want to say something like your bio. Excellent. And so then we want, can we get events? No. Can we get anything relevant here? Is bounty hunter. Can I please tell you, I would love to find someone who is a bounty hunter. Yeah, I mean, I do have a starter template. I personally have this one, which you are welcome to use, but there are also others. So I saw one from, this is public. I saw one from Josh Goldberg, which is also, oh, thank you. He has got some really nice, highly opinionated templates. So this one, I would say give it a try. There you go. And Anthony is absolutely, anything that he does is great, and he has a lot of templates, like templates for VS Code extensions, templates for projects. So basically just check out anything here. But let's see, search for template, and there you go. There's several here. Starter-TS, I think probably is the one that you're looking for. So there are so many. Okay, so right, I mustn't lose track. I'm looking for some kind of thing. There's like recent repositories contributed to. That's probably worth finding. But is there anything else? Monthly estimated sponsors income in cents. Well, that's very precise. McBurger. Excellent. Am I active on the Nuxt Discord channel? That is a fair question. Yes, this looks like a very promising... the answer is yes, I am. I am indeed active there. You will find me without much difficulty, I would think. This may be a better solution. But it's not issues. Oh, I guess pull requests count as issues. Yeah, I know it does. It turns off. I have to turn it back on again. It's overheating, I think. Now, why? I don't know. I live in England, but that is what is happening. Okay, so I think all of these are good options. It'll be very easy to swap these in. But for now, what's going to happen is that we're going to be able to hit this. It's a cached event handler, which means the first time we run it, it's slow, and then after that, it's instant because it's now cached. So that's good. So we now want to display it in our app. And so we want to be able to do something like have a pages directory, again, with a username, and then we're going to render that person's first commit. So we'll say something like, yeah, of course, it's really late. And thanks for dialing in from Japan. So what we want to do here, I'm just going to enable an experimental feature, which is fun. I'm going to do typed pages. And that hopefully means that we will be able to have a type for this. And we can do something like const root equals use root. And this one will be called username. And so we can actually have a type for root dot params dot username. Yay. Okay, so that would then show us our username. So we could hit localhost 3000. We'll use queries. And great, our username is coming through. And we also want to be able to access the first commit. So we'll do something like const event is await use fetch API username and data event. And just display it up there. This won't hit the network layer. It will be an internal fetch. And there it is. It's a push event. Curie 10 portfolio. Yeah, I think maybe this events just doesn't return the... Anyway, I will fix that. But like for the moment, it's giving us some data. And we have a payload, and there's a commits and a message and a link. So that's all fine. Cool. So what we would want to do is something like have an h1, and we would say like the username, and we would have, you know, maybe a line, and then we're going to have some data. And here, what we're interested in is the event dot is it typed? No, why is it not typed? Oh, it's not typed because we're returning it. For some reason, there's actually an issue with cached event handlers, I think. We need to specifically type this with our generic, which is annoying. So this is typed. This is typed as just our GitHub event. Yeah, it's this cached event handler. Okay, so that needs to be, that's our input. So our input is actually nothing. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's this. That's weird. Need to sort that one out. Still? Okay, the inference here is that we have cached event handler returning. So if I said string, then that would be the input. Oh, this is broken. This type needs to be fixed. So we want to say is this event handler. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so basically when I'm just wrapping a fetch call, so if I wanted to do some other async data, then I would just use the Interesting. I think I'm probably incorrectly doing this. So validbot, tell me. I need to get the type for a schema. Oh, it's just, oh, input, type input. There we go. So I need to here grab import type input from validbot, and I will do this. There we go. So now that's going to be properly typed. Okay, so beautiful. Okay, so we've got a commit being printed out. I think I've vanished again. Oh, I would always use H3 in a Nuxt project, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't also use TRPC, because I think you could use TRPC and H3, but effectively H3 would be an end, would be your, it would control and serve up the TRPC endpoint. So this is definitely not me saying don't use TRPC, which I like a lot. Okay, so we've got a commit hash, and we actually have a URL as well, which is an API endpoint. So we don't want an API endpoint, we want a specific real URL. Is that just swap out API and go? So as in if I just drop out the API, is that fine? Or I think I would also have to convert this to remove the repos. Oh, I wonder if it's still there. It's not. Okay, that's interesting. We're actually getting an event data that doesn't appear to be in an actual repo. So interesting. Ideally, I would like to link, you know. So I want to do a couple of things. I want to be able to link to the link to commit pull request. I want to be able to ideally have an open graph image or something that shows up. When in the head. So okay, that's what I want. And yeah, because that's not showing up at all. Amazing. I did not know that you could get a URL for a private repo when making an event API request. That feels like it wasn't intended, but so here we could just use the commit URL. Let's try with McPizza. That's going to be an API, but it is coming through. If I swap that out to drop the API, I would then need also to drop repos, I guess. And that would show up as well. Hey, never mind. Welcome. Feels like that's... Anyway, we have to do a little bit more digging. So, and we actually have to go to our backend. But let's make it look a little bit more beautiful before we go on much further. Interesting. Okay. So we'll do that easily to start with. Input, output. Done. Let's add Tailwind. And pop it in here. No reason not to use Nuxlink. And no reason not to use Uno. I use Uno CSS for my own website. Before that, I used Tailwind for my website. I like to try different things, basically. But Uno CSS is great, for sure. Hey, thank you. Oh, it's great. It is great. Okay, let's see. We have our dev server up again. And what are we going to do? We need some design, I guess. Yeah, I didn't say hi. Alvaro, it is nice to see you. Okay, so that is there. Oh yeah, because there are 2 commits. Right, so what we would want to do, what should we make this? We should make this, like this is where I reveal my sort of, let me get some inspiration. Anyone have some inspiration for like my first commit? What do we want to make it look like? It should look nice. There should be it should look a little bit like GitHub, right? So that should be the thing we're drawing inspiration from. So okay, so basically we want something that has a thing, an avatar and a name. So we would want to basically to have this. So we're going to want to do what? Okay, so we want to do something like, we probably don't have, well, so an avatar is going to be easy enough, right? So it's going to be what? GitHub. Oh, I'll just make it slightly easier. That is it though, right? GitHub danielrowe.jpg, right? That is, what is it? What is it? Come on, people. There's a shortcut here. I'm sure I've used it before. what we're doing is we're building an app that's just going to show you your first commit. And I'm not very confident in the reliability of the data that it's providing at the moment, but I feel like it's going to get there. Okay, so what is it? GitHub avatar URL shortcut. Oh, .ping. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we can pop in .ping. Beautiful. Okay, and we can also grab some other stuff. Yeah. What we need is a name. So we probably want to be able to do some more stuff here. So we want to have the commit, but we also want to have the user, and so we would want to return events. Oh, for goodness sake. The camera is also on my users page, which is, I'm not sure it's a tremendous advertisement for it at the moment, but actually I think it should be accessible from the oldest commit, because we have the repo, the payload. I guess parses dropped everything else. I've not changed the camera setting. I've just sort of turned it on and off. If I were to just remove that, I'll just copy that and do this. So we're not overly parsing it. And let's just hit that again. Oh, it'll need to be someone different. What is it? Quill. For goodness sake, what is your double I? Yes. Ooh. Unprocessable entity. Ah. That's a great idea, because it doesn't need a battery, it's plugged in. That's a very good idea. Okay, I'll try that. I'll just restart the server too. Oh, I need more, don't I? Why am I only getting this much? Oh, because I'm no longer parsing it, and I'm not caching it. There we go. I have an actor with an avatar URL, a display login, a login, and a URL. That feels better. So I have basically actor, and what else do I care about? The display login, I guess. Is that always going to be the same thing? And I guess that's enough. And then I have got as a ref. Okay, that's fine. So what I want is to then be able to display this actor. So I would do something like say event.actor.display login, and then I could have, I think I now have the entire URL, so event.actor.avatar URL, and okay, good. So it's respecting his capitalization now. And let's add some alt text. And what else? We'll add some classes now, I guess. Ah, the pain. My cat is pawing at my leg. I've got to let him out. I'll be back. Okay. What should we actually make this look like? It should look nice, all right? Class font bold. We probably want to make it items center gap 4. Should we make it? Should we use inter? I don't feel bold looks great, does it? Cal Sans. Let's use Cal Sans. Okay. Cal Sans. That is beautiful. It is always beautiful. This feels like, well, it's probably safe to do this, but oh, that's not necessarily I just sort of feel it's probably CSS, but actually, since my camera has gone off again, I'm just going to do this. Can I just take the actual battery out, or do I have to put a dummy battery in? Is it going to just not work if I... Well, let's see if I can do that. Remove battery. How do I even do this? Probably I shouldn't be doing this live, but hey. It is very annoying. That is all I have to say in my defense. Actually, this is embarrassing to say. I have no idea actually how to take the battery out of the thing. Must be possible. I'm going to admit defeat very quickly, having not actually tried very hard. But I will do this before next time. Remove the battery. There we go. Oh well. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm importing Cal Sans. let's see. Oh, I have to use it. So I have to use it by specifying it here, which I guess I can do it in my Tailwind config, which I think I can even do in Nuxt. But what is it? Extend theme. What is it? Config. Extend. I think I just need a Tailwind config. So. I see. I guess I probably don't want to use it everywhere, do I? I probably just want to have a special cal font or something like that, which for headings and things like that. Is that what we think? And I'm not quite sure why this hasn't reloaded, but is this even the right, is it tailwind.config? So I would then specify font cal in here. Seems to be working. What do you mean set it to display? Display, like that. I think it's already working actually. Yes, you can do that in the watch property in Nuxt config. So you have it here, and you can specify files to watch that will restart the server. Okay, it's working, it's working, it's great. Okay, font semi-bold, cool. And we can also just pop in the, I guess we have your display name, and we also probably have your actual, login. We probably want both. So something like a couple of spans. We won't do that, but I mean, just let's see. That's weird. It's a lot of gap. Oh, I bet it's because of the what am I saying? I bet it's because of the fact that it will be flex call gap 1 justify. I don't mean justify start, I mean item start. Yeah, this is the display login. But the tricky thing is this is what we've got on the event. So we have your display login and we have your login, but we don't actually have your name. So I would have to grab it separately. I don't think H1 does have a margin because it's Tailwind. So I think it's not that. So I think it's large. I wonder it could be the font. Could be the font has a yeah. Doesn't seem. Oh, you're right. The commit author name. Although that feels a little bit fragile, but that's interesting. What's going on there? So this should be a, oh, it's really just one single message. Okay. And then what we want is, okay, what is going on with our, yeah, it's just there's a lot of height in those characters. I think because it is a display, which also just probably means that what we want to do is to copy this just and apply it to this one. And still a lot. Maybe. Weird. Oops. Do you think it makes a difference? Whoa, yes, it does. Okay. everything is very slow because I'm actually doing this on my computer as opposed to where I normally do it in the cloud. So this is not ideal. Right, we want to add something nice that says something like my first commit was, or something like that. We have a this. I think probably we would like some padding around that of some kind. We probably actually want padding around everything. So we would probably like this to be padding Y, and then maybe a big padding X around the whole page. Like we'll make this a main and do something like padding 2 and max width 200. Is that too much? Max width 48. I probably should do something like that. And then we would want to do something like width full, and what's going on here? Why is max width? This is weird. I'm just trying to see why the why it doesn't seem to be being applied. Oh, it's still 48 somehow. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what we want is, that's reasonable probably. We want to give a bit of space around our HR. So we'll make this again a flex call gap 2. And we want to, we could just actually add this as a border south of the header. So we can instead say the bottom, oh, it's border B1. Yes, you can see obviously my innate skill here is truly incredible. We're not going to make this a flex. Do we want that? The HR is better, isn't it? The HR is more semantic and it's more stylable, right? Okay, we want to give a little bit of space around here, and we want to position it a little bit more in the middle. What am I doing, people? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is the kind of thing that should be done whilst watching Netflix, and not like, because it's tiny tweaking. It's actually really boring to watch. Are people bored? Should we go back and do some API stuff and make it a little bit more reliable, so we're actually getting McPizza's first commit and not this one? I know, my poor camera. It is just, it's not that hot in this room. Like, don't know what's going on there. Okay, let's see. We want to add maybe a little button or something. Oh, and this probably is actually probably has a new line in it. So we should probably render this with pre. I bet you it has a new line in it. That's why it looks like it's one line. Yes, that's what's going on. So we'll just make it look normal. Thank you. Thank you, Yale. Right. So we could basically have set the commit message and then maybe something instead which says check it out on GitHub. See it on GitHub. And then that we could have some class is rounded, background green, 500, border green 700, padding 2 and 1. Actually, ideally, we would grab it from GitHub, right? Fontaine, yeah, but we should definitely use Fontaine on this project. And this is how we would do it. Nuts.js Fontaine. Basically, it will stop there from being this sort of flash when we load the page of height for the McPizza bit. And actually, I think with Tailwind, we might have to add it ourselves manually. But it's super simple to do. So this is what you would do in adding Fontaine here. We would grab it, paste it there, and then it produces a font which is the same name. Now we actually might have to do two things, not 100% sure. And do this. Cal sans fallback. For goodness sake, it's so slow. Exactly. The superiority of the French language is highly... okay. I'll have to check this works. Contrast-wise in a second. You're right. Probably not. Text green, maybe. Come on. Okay, and that's also not a good color. I do love flex and gap. Gap is the main reason I love flex. Except this we probably want to have in line, right? So maybe this should be a row. Hello. Does that look reasonable, or would it be at the end? Would we want to do anything differently with this? We would say we could just do div and then white space, no break. What is it going to be in Tailwind? It's no different. I think we should not do this green thing. We should do black and then just white, I think. That's better. Fits in with the heading. And then, I don't know, someone who has got more design sense than me could make this better if they wanted to. And we could line clamp it maybe? Leading none, yes. Yeah, that's better. Oh, and then we also want to, what do we want to do? We want to have it in the middle of the page, I guess. Something like that, and maybe give it a border. So come stop. And we want probably border gray, what, 700? Something light. And a bit more space around the HR. The purple URL bar is just Arc, the browser, telling me that it's localhost. Probably want this. This is also not really a header. This is more just information, I guess. Difficult to know what it should be, but Ah, no, I didn't know that. Fontaine is set up. You're right, it's set up. Is it working properly? Who can say? So one thing that suggests it might be is that there's no vertical height change. Like when the fallback is loading, it's Times New Roman, and then it's Cal Sans. So that suggests to me that it is working, but I'm not 100% sure. We can try. Cal Sans fallback. We'll make something that we'll just say div style font family. Oh, it's surprisingly difficult to debug fonts in Chrome. Firefox is phenomenal on this. I might actually need, how would I do it? I could try building it, or maybe just check the actual network sources tab. So we've got this. This is difficult to tell. I'll have to build it to be sure. Do I need underscores for what? Oh, you don't need underscores. Basically, you can see how adding it to Tailwind config, there may be one more thing that's needed. And that is, so if this isn't generating it, then I might also need just to tell Fontaine that this font exists, because normally it looks for it in your source files. So we could just do it like this. And I'm sorry it's called font metrics, but it was before I named it Fontaine. And we can basically say in here, but we'll just check. We'll check whether it's actually generated or not. Okay, localhost 3000, and what's that? Oh, make pizza. And what we should have is some Cal Sans fallback. And then if it's not in the CSS, then it wasn't generated, and I have to add this manually. So it should be, I think I probably just have to add it manually. So we have font metrics, and we should be we should be adding fonts Cal Sans. Let's try that again. Oh, that's cool. That might be exactly what I was looking for. So do you mean this? I'm specifically, the thing that I'm looking for is the information on the font family, like things like where it's coming from and the metrics and overrides that apply to it. Yeah. Oh, you can't see it. I'll hide myself if I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, right. That's what we're talking about. This is all the way down. There is no more on the computer tab. Oh, you mean the computed CSS? Well, I mean, that's this, right? Okay, I'm gonna hide myself again. Look, this is it. There is nothing else. I'm scrolling up and down. There is no more. This is it. There is no more parrot. There is nothing. Could try show all. But that's gives me no more. Oh, maybe because this is arc. Does that make a difference? Do I need to enable it? CSS properties. Does it matter what bit of my code I'm in? No. It is definitely loading a font. It is loading a font right here. Like, there is the font that it's loading. Ah, rendered fonts. It's appeared. But basically, I want to know more than this. So I'll show you what Firefox shows me. I should send the Chrome team are, yeah, I'm inspecting it, people. So I'm inspecting this text. This text is specifically having Cal Sans, and it shows me the rendered font, but it doesn't show me any information about it. If I try it in Firefox, this is what I get. Oh, it's also got to have pizza. Come on. Oh. Oh, I hid the camera so that you could see my full screen. But honestly, Firefox is brilliant here. If we can actually load this thing. Right. So anyway, what we were doing was something. I don't know why. I was going to stick this in the middle. Okay, so we have got the thing. This is, I think, working anyway. So this is what Firefox gives me. Firefox gives me a fonts tab. Sorry, I'll hide myself again. Goodbye. And the so what we're doing is we're building a site that shows your first commit on GitHub. Is the concept. So we're going to inspect the fonts. And you see it tells you the font, and it also tells you a lot of information. So all fonts on page, for example, it gives you the font face definitions that are controlling the specific font. So it says, you know, this is going to be whatever, all of this. That's really, really very, very useful. So if I were to go into the network tab, for example, and block the Cal Sans URL, so it can't load it, and this one too, I guess. Block that one also. Okay, so now another one. Block this one also. So now it can't load it. So we're just getting the fallback font. I can go back and it's just telling me it's using times. So this is it's a really useful tool, I think, and you can actually change it and actually see what happens if you have different values in your font face. So this is cool. Gekole, thank you very much. That's really nice. Really nice of you. So anyway, I think this is a phenomenal tool. I would love to see the Chrome DevTools support something similar. Yeah. There are also some other really nice DevTools here, like compatibility issues, where it can tell you some stuff about like specifically what is enabled or not, which you might not be able to see. There we go. It also can give you some very nice animation stuff. It can obviously show you changes, like if you've customized the CSS in the page, it's quite a nice overview. Anyway, it is just a delight to use. So then this is different, but I think it's not like one is profoundly better than another. But I do think fonts is a missing thing for, okay, so fonts, CalSans. I bet it doesn't know the metrics for CalSans because it needs to be able to follow the path to the font file, and it probably isn't in Google Fonts. Ooh, an experiment. I like experiments. Okay. But is this only in Edge, or is it also in, yeah. So basically it's saying inspect and then more tools and then font editor in the styles tab. I bet this is probably just Edge. Let's see. Oh no, there's a font editor tool. Okay. It's a font editor tool. I think, is that really what I want? Like, and it would be in styles. And specifically, oh, I guess it's this thing. Yeah, that's what it is. It's cool. It's a nice feature. Still, I think maybe a ways to go. Right. I love the Chrome DevTools. I love the Chrome DevTools team as well, by the way. No, my pull request is not going to make it in for Nux 3.7. But soon thereafter, I hope. We're going to release a new Nitro not long after 3.7, so we'll iterate quickly on this one. Okay, come on, people. Right. I'll have to come back to the font metrics thing. What else would I want to do? So the font metrics. Let's open the dev server again. By the way, the other thing that I do have to do today is release Nux 3.7 because we're very, very close now because Nitro is out as of very, very early this morning. So there is nothing blocking us now other than this stream. So what can I say? I probably should get off on the sooner side, but Okay, so what do we want to do? Let's just stick this in the middle of the page and call it a day, right? Something like that. So we would want this to be height, min height, screen, and flex call justify center, something like that. Sorry, did I just throw the cat amongst the pigeons? I think there might be a lot of, sorry about that. Oh no, items. No, justify center. Justify center is right? I have never had so quickly a booing mob asking me to leave the stream. Like that's what's... Oh yeah, let's do that. Oh, you mean wrap main? Like this? Can also do that. Okay, and we need to ensure that we've got a gap between these for these situations. I have given a height to the main. Oh, you mean to the main? What do you mean I have to give a height to the main? Do you mean this isn't going to work on a different browser? You can use refs from Vue without, like, there's just a Vue reactivity package that you can use directly if you just want to use the refs. Cool. This, I think, is a reasonable first step. What else would we do? We would probably do something like, you land on the homepage, you can enter your own URL, so something like index.vue, and we could do something like, we could abstract some of this into a layout. So we could basically do something like this. We could actually have you log in. Yes, you can use Options API in Vue 3. So we would do something like, yeah, I think log in would make most sense. So we'd do something instead like, we'll copy our button from here. I do love it, I will say. Why log in with GitHub? There's only to more easily allow someone to give me their GitHub username. So it would be totally possible to just, you may well be laughing at me. It would be totally possible for someone just to give me their GitHub username, but this would be a slightly easier approach. So we would do something like this. This is Arc. You can go to arc.net to check it out if you want to. Thank you, Gecko. Icons is wonderful. Yes, it is. It's great. Okay, it's got a little login with GitHub button. It's going to need to link us to an OAuth ID. To an OAuth URL. Just to remind myself. We have to create an app and a flow. So this is what we want. That. And it needs to have some client ID and a redirect. Okay. And with no scopes, we just need to know the user ID. Cool. This is probably a little bit more complex than we need to do at this point. I would probably just grab it from another repo, which I already created this. So basically where we would do something like this. We have a server endpoint, which is going to handle the OAuth like this. Okay. And what we would want to do is we'll need our access token, and we'll have a client ID and client secret, which I'm not going to register on stream. But basically it will be something very much like this. And we don't need half of this stuff. We just need to know the GitHub username. So that should be pretty straightforward. And client ID and client secret is all we need. Okay, so that should be pretty straightforward to create. And we'll just, this is, I don't think we'll need that. We basically just need to know that this. And how will we set that? We can just set that in a cookie, I guess. Or we could even send the redirect. Yeah, in fact, we could just do that. We could say, because we don't actually need to track this. We just need to know what it is. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Excellent use of those emotes. Okay, so cool. Where are we setting this state? Aha. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we need to set that state somewhere. Where did I set it? So basically we have our connect. Yeah, that's right. And this is where we send the redirect to the, yeah, okay. So this was connect and GitHub. That's all we need to do is set the cookie, basically. Florent, hello. Cool. Cool. Yes, this is all straightforward, and it basically means we only need now to link to, we need to grab the IDs, and then we just need to link to our own URL, connect GitHub like this. And it will just mean that we need to, yeah, so that's great. So it's a normal link. Runtime config is basically how Nuxt handles what you would normally store in environment variables. And it's a provider agnostic way that works with stuff like Cloudflare environments, but also works with things like node environments without exposing or requiring you to like fully access process.env, which like is a bit implementation detail. It's not a good abstraction. So so yes, that's what it is. Okay, I think we've got our login. It's going to connect to that. I'm just going to create a GitHub app. And we're going to call it first commit is, and we'll say it's going to be first commit is, and our callback URL, we're not actually adding an app. We only need the OAuth. Wait, we shouldn't be adding an app at all. What I want to do is somehow add an OAuth app. Hello, Andre. Okay, I want developer settings. Don't look. If there's anything, there we go. There we go. And this will just be the dev one to start, and that will be our callback URL and register. Great. So I've got a client ID, which I can actually probably just hard code, and a client secret, which I'm going to not mind putting here because I'm going to regenerate it when I'm done. And at the moment, it only authorizes localhost 3000. So, okay, so that should work, hopefully. Let's see what happens if I go to localhost 3000 and click log in with GitHub. See you, Emma. Oh, I'll also have to mark this as an external link, so it performs a hard reload rather than do a like a router navigation. Missing authorization code. Yeah, and .env doesn't work after a build. It might soon when in the node 20.6, I think, but it definitely does not currently work. Right, we have 422. Missing authorization code. This code is meant to come from the query. It's meant to come from GitHub, honestly. So why would that be? Nobody can access my application because it won't do anything for you. There's no risk at the moment. All it can do is you can click a link locally to log in and get information about yourself. But we are not going to let that stand, of course. When I actually deploy this, I'll reset the key. Okay, so log in. So we've got a state. It's not the registered callback URL. So what is it? What do we need to change it to? Oh, because we are specifying it here. We're specifying it as connect to GitHub. Specifying it as we specify. Okay, we don't care about this. It needs to be HTTP localhost 3000 for now. Let's try that once more. There we go. Okay, authorize me. Being redirected. Ta-da! And now we have a problem with downloading it. But the point is I've been redirected to my URL, which is great. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do with the OAuth. And that seems reasonable. The QR thing. Nux 3.7 will have it. Is it possible to do auth? Yes, it is, but not OAuth. Right, I have got to go. I think this has been fun. I need to grab a few minutes before to do 1 or 2 Nux 3.7 things. So I will see you later. This has been a lot of fun. I'm annoyed I haven't actually managed to finish it, but I feel it's quite close. So I hope you're not feeling cheated. But we should be able to get this up and actually have what might be a fun little project. But yeah, this was cool. Good stuff. Thank you, everyone. Next offers are on for later. So that is another reason why I need to go. But basically in about 2 hours time, you are all very welcome to come and chill and hang out with the next folk on the next Discord server. So yes, that is where I will be then. Good stuff. See you later. Oh, let me see if there's anyone we should go see on Twitch. If you're looking to continue hanging out and streaming, there are folk. Are there folk? Nobody I actually follow is streaming at the moment. If anyone has a suggestion, let me know in the next couple of seconds, but otherwise I'll just say goodbye. And no? Good stuff. Okay, see you all later.